welcome to week 5. Great to have you here. So back in week 3 we looked at the blues, beginner's blues piece, and what we're doing today is related to that. So you would have seen in the demonstration I was playing single notes, and I'm actually playing some single notes over the top of an extended version of the blues that we did in week 3. And I played some more complicated sounding things just to show you what's possible, but essentially what I'm doing is playing the notes that you're going to learn today. And then once you've learnt the notes and you're familiar with them, you can start to play around with them and experiment and improvise, and this allows you to be able to jam with other people. So if you've got friends who play the guitar, you can pretty much guarantee they'll know the blues, and we're playing here the blues in the key of A, and so they can be playing that shuffle rhythm that we did in week 3 with you while you're playing the single notes and in effect playing a guitar solo. And it can be very, very simple in the beginning. As I say, I mixed it up a little bit there, but you can just play, you'll hear some of the phrases that I did. I was just playing 1 or 2 notes. And once you know those notes that fit into this scale, you actually can't go wrong. They all sound good over that blues progression that we did in week 3. So really looking forward to showing you this one, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. One more thing to mention just before we get started. At the end of today's video, you'll notice there's a version of me playing an extended version of what we did in week 3, the blues progression, and that's there for you to start to practice to jam over the top of. So if you haven't got any friends that are handy to play the blues progression for you, you've got me on the video there playing it for you, an extended version, so that you can really start to improvise and play around with the notes of the scale. Just remember to keep it nice and simple in the beginning, because even just 1 or 2 notes can sound really, really good over and over again over that progression. You really can't go wrong. So yeah, have a lot of fun. See you soon. With this scale, we're going to be using every string on the guitar, starting with string 1 and then moving up all the way to string 6. And first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the left hand pattern that I want you to memorize. And the left hand pattern goes 5, 3, open, 3, 1, 2, open. I'll just say that through again. 5, 3, open, 3, 1, 2, open. So that's the finger positions in the left hand for part 1. So now we're going to try that. So the first 3 happen on string 1, and we're going to take our 3rd finger and put it on the 5th fret on the 1st string. Now those first 3 positions that we just would have memorized, 5, 3, open. Okay, so that's the first 3 notes on the 1st string. Then we move to the next string, string 2, and again with our 3rd finger. So it now comes down to the 3rd fret, and we're playing 3, 1. And then the next part of our pattern is on the 3rd string, and that's where we play 2, open. Now I'm using the 2nd finger there. So just to go through that again, we've got on the 1st string 5, 3, open, and then on the 2nd string, starting with the 3rd finger, 3, 1, and then on the 3rd string with the 2nd finger, 2, open. Okay, so that's the first half of the scale, and what I want you to do is to just get really, really familiar with that, so that you just know where those notes are, and it just, it comes naturally to you to play those notes. And then what I want you to do is to start to play around with it. So you don't have to always do it in that order. You can mix it up a bit and just start to get used to, jumping between those notes. For example, you might go from the second fret on the third string, and then jump up to the third fret on the third string, and then to the open first string, and then the fifth fret on the first string, just as an example. But just start to get free with that scale, so that you really just know it inside out. And then we'll look at the second part of it. The pattern for the second part of the scale goes 2, open, 3, open, 3, open. Okay, and so just try and lock that into your memory. 2, open, 3, open, 3, open. And now we're going to put that on the guitar. So we're up to the fourth string now. We've done the first, second and third string positions, and now we're up to the fourth string. And so it's 2, open on the fourth string, and I'm starting with my second finger. And then on the fifth string, it's 3, open, and on the sixth string, 3, open. I'll just run through that again. Fourth string, 2, open, fifth string, 3, open, and sixth string, 3, open. So what I'd like you to do is, just like with the first half of the scale, just get really familiar with it, so you just know where those notes are and you can just easily find them. A couple of points about the right hand here. We're now playing all the strings in this little exercise, and so we want to have the right hand get to the point where it's really steady, so that, because with this one we're going to be looking at the left hand quite a bit to find our position and really concentrating on that hand, we need our right hand to be fairly independent. So what I'd like you to do is try a couple of different things and find out what works best for you. And this is something that can just steady the right hand. So some people like to actually rest a couple of fingers, or even just one finger, on the actual body of the guitar. I've got mine near the scratch plate there. And they rest, 1 or 2 fingers on there, and that's just anchors their right hand so that it can sort of feel its way as to where it's got to go much easier. That's one thing that you can start to try. If that doesn't work for you, another option is to rest your palm up against the bridge. It's a little bit hard to see there, but that's what I do. But it doesn't work for everyone, especially if your hands are a bit smaller. That can be a challenge then, reaching the strings properly. But I tend to rest my palm on the bridge of the guitar, and then that I use that in a couple of different ways, because then that also allows me to mute the strings when I want to get that sort of rocky sort of sound. But what I'd recommend you do this week is just experiment with those 2 ways of doing it and start to get a feel for what works best for you, because that free floating right hand can cause problems later on, especially when you need to really focus on the left hand. So anyway, have a try and let me know how you go. Once you know the notes of the scale a little bit, you don't even have to know them all perfectly. I'd like you to jump straight into having a go at improvising. That is, playing those notes, or a mixture of those notes, over the top of someone else, either someone else playing the blues progression for you, or the video of me playing the blues progression. Just jump in and start having a go, because sometimes even just 1 or 2 notes can sound fantastic over the top of the blues progression. And it's just the best way to learn it actually is just to jump in and start playing around. So just get in there, and I really hope you enjoy working with that, and have fun, and we'll see you next time.